In contrast to the western phoebe, it is more reserved in its movement. In spite of its friendliness, it is not intrusive. The birds always respect to the human personal space. This small passerine bird lives in eastern North America. When it puffs up its small crest, this species appears remarkably big-headed. Above it has grey-brown plumage. When breeding season begins, it has buffish underparts and a white throat. On each wing, there are two faint buff bars. Unlike other North American tyrant flycatcher, it lacks an eye ring and wing bars, and when perched on a branch, it pumps its tails up and down. The wing bars of the eastern phoebes are always clearly defined and contrasted since it lacks the buff you usually found on higher parts of its plumage. The wing bars of the eastern phoebes are always clearly defined and contrasted since it lacks the buff you usually found on lighter parts of its plumage. The eastern phoebe leaves for winter quarters at about the same time as it appears on the breeding grounds, but it does not job its tail habitually. Eastern phoebe nests can make between 5 and 14 days to construct and measure 5 inches wide than finished. The size of the nest is normally 2.5 inches of width and 2 inches of depth in the nest cup. In some years, barn swallows reuse nests, which is unlikely most birds' nest. Bridges and buildings are often used as nesting sites. It is possible to start nesting activities as early as April 1st. The eastern phoebe's eggs are laid in a crevice in a rock or man-made site in a cup with a mud base lined with grass and moss. A pair usually raises 2 broods a year, with both parents feeding the young. Brown-headed cowbirds occasionally parasitize the nest of eastern phoebes. It is generally found on stream sides and farmland areas, providing ideal habitat for eastern phoebes, which are highly adaptable to urban environment. Eastern phoebes prefer trees, brushy areas, overhangs, and other shady areas over open areas. During migration in winter or breeding season, they are frequently seen around wooded edge and brushy areas where water sources are abundant. Although its normal range does not include the southern east coast of the United States, this tyrant flycatcher breeds in eastern North America. Often near water, eastern phoebe breeds in open woodlands, farmlands, and shrubs. When searching for food items, this phoebe often perches conspicuously. In cooler weather, it also consumes fruits and berries. This species is migratory, wintering in Central America and the southernmost United States. Western Europe has only a few these vagrants. There were many species of birds that were expanding their range as well, including the phoebe. In September and November, they migrate south to the Mexico, where they spent winter. In spring, this bird returns to the breeding grounds and leaves in the fall. Breeding occurs between mid-late March and early April, but they return to winter quarters around September or early October, like all migrant songbirds. Fire suppression and tree planting have helped expand the western range of birds in the Great Plains during the past century. Robert Frost wrote about phoebes in his poem, The Need of Being Versed in Country Things, in 1923. An abandoned farm with phoebes nesting inside a barn is described in the poem. Eastern phoebe's song is raspy, two-part sound that gives them their name Phoebe. It lasts about half a second. The bird song is also sung with a stutter or two between each syllabus. During or after aggressive interaction, eastern phoebes are more likely to make their call. Furthermore, eastern wood-pewees make brisk whistle-like calls similar to phoebe, the bird named after its songs. Because of its repetitive name, it's pretty easy to recognize and remember. If you like this video, please comment, share and subscribe. Thank you very much.